guys, welcome back to the Big Sew Along. I'm Jenny, and as always, I thank you very much for choosing to spend a little time with me. I did actually get some sewing done this week that I really want to share with you, but before I get to that, I wanted to follow up on last week's video really quickly. We were talking about my most frequently worn me-made items, and I asked you guys to look at the selection that I had and let me know if there's something that you were seeing there that I was missing. So just like an idea of, just so I could get an idea of the kinds of things that I'm most likely to wear. So great comments from everybody, and I really, really appreciate that. A few of you guys actually left comments regarding things you didn't see in those garment pieces, which I found really interesting. So a couple of them were, Jan said she saw no denim. And my first thought when I read that comment was, yeah, because I don't like denim. I don't like to wear denim. I don't like to sew denim. And then I thought, no, that's not really true, because I've been looking for a denim jacket at the thrift store for like 6 years. I just haven't found one that I really liked. So I thought, well, a denim jacket is something I could definitely make, and I would definitely wear that, especially if I did something like, I had a couple of suggestions, a couple of examples. If I did something like this ruffle jacket, this is from a company called Ford & Guy on Etsy, and I've never used their patterns, but I really like this jacket, and I think this could be super cute in denim. The other one that I've been thinking of for a long time is the Ormond coat from In the Folds. That would be really cute in denim. The So Different Kusama jacket could also be really cute in denim. Sorry, every time I bend my head down, it like messes with my lighting. The Kusama jacket, Kusama or Kusama? I'll list all the patterns below, just so you guys can see what they're really called. I thought that would be really interesting in denim as well. Now, I think the In the Folds, what's that one called? The Ormond coat is probably the most traditional, like almost like a chore jacket kind of thing. But I do think if I did some patchworky kind of denim in that, like just scraps from like old jeans and different denim projects and stuff, that could be really cool. Okay, then the other thing was, Cusset mentioned that I have no collars or interesting sleeves. They're all round neck or scoop neck and sleeveless or plain sleeves. And I thought, you know what, that is totally true. And adding collars and sleeves to garments would be a really good way to get a little variety in my wardrobe without like completely abandoning my aesthetic. I don't have to make like a classic men's shirt. I could just make something with a really cool collar or really cool sleeves. A couple of suggestions I looked up. I found this shirt, which I just think is super, super cute. It's called the Sour Cherry, and it is from Double Ugly Studio on Etsy. I like this really cropped, boxy shape. That's definitely something I would wear. The Assembly Line pleat front shirt, which has been around for ages, and I have been eyeing this shirt for ages. So I should definitely be making that, because that is also something I would wear all the time. In addition, there are several shirt patterns that I have already from Merchant & Mills, and to be honest with you, I'm not sure why I haven't made them. I think maybe I'm just lazy. I think it's just laziness, because I really love the Scout shirt and also, what's the other one called? The Ellsworth. I love both of those shirts. And I have both of those patterns. So those would be a really good addition to my wardrobe in terms of tops or dresses with like some sort of a collar. Also, to get a little like sleeve interest in there, Cusset also suggested something with maybe a square armhole, and I had been looking at this Paper Theory block tee. Somebody else also recommended this in that video. This is again like sort of a square shaped top with like a round neckline, but it does have really interesting armholes. So that could be a really good way to add some interest without totally changing my aesthetic. In addition to that, the Sartorial project has this dress here called the Deluze dress, It's the same thing. It's just like a round neck button front kind of tunicky looking dress, but it does have those square armholes. And again, if you use like an ikat or something with like an interesting like stripes or something, that could look really cool, and I would love that. I love the look of that. And then last but not least, while I was looking for that picture of the Ormond coat from In the Folds, I came across the Sawtell top here, which I have seen before. And I really like. I'm not a big like statement sleeve kind of person. I'm not going to wear something with really big poofy sleeves or big ruffles or anything, but this sleeve I would definitely do, and it's definitely more interesting than the sleeves that I normally wear. I really like this, and it also has like, I think there are 2 or 3 different versions of the sleeves in this, so that is also something that I could definitely look into. So again, thank you guys all so much for your recommendations. I feel like I've gotten back on track, and also I'm really excited to sew some things that I haven't sewn before, but that I am relatively sure will fit really well in my wardrobe. So thank you all so much for your help. Now let's talk about what I'm wearing today and what I have been sewing. You guys may remember, not last week, but the week before, I showed you a picture of this dress. I'm absolutely in love with this dress. To get something like this dress, I knew that I didn't want to have, this dress has like a double layer. So it's got an outer dress and then something underneath that carries that like ruffle at the bottom. And I knew that I didn't really want that double layer, too much fabric, too much fussiness, just too much. But I wanted something that sort of would replicate that shape. So I started by using this pattern here from my Yoko Saito sewing book. And this, I'll show you a picture here of the muslin I did. This dress actually fits pretty well. It's a little like smaller through the chest than I would like. I wanted it to be a little bit looser. It also has a slightly higher neckline, which was also fine. The shape is pretty good. It was obviously too long, but the way this pattern is drafted, I didn't like the shape of the hem. It didn't really matter because at the end of the day, I cut it too short. I made this, and this one is 100% cotton. I didn't do any other alterations to this pattern. I just shortened it. This is 100% cotton. African wax print that I got from, I can't remember the name. I think it's called Afrika Warehouse, but whatever it is, again, I'll put it below. This dress fits pretty well. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not exactly the look I was going for, but it's fine. It is definitely too short. Again, that is fine because I will wear this with a pair of black pants and my sneakers, and that will be absolutely fine. So then I decided to try the Noah dress from Trama Patterns, and I bought this off of the Trama Patterns on Etsy, I'm going to say about a year ago. This one I really like because it actually has, I don't know if you'll be able to see it here, but it has darts here like they have in the Merchant and Mills Ellis dress, which is something that I just really like. I apologize, I can't remember what size I cut in this, but I will leave that information for you below too. In this muslin, you can see it's too long. The fit looks pretty good to me. The only thing that I didn't really like is I had like a little gapping right here at the front, but that was pretty easy to fix because I just increased the width of my darts about 1/4 of an inch on each side, and that took that right in. Also, this fabric I used for this one is a vintage fabric that I got from eBay during the pandemic, and I did not have enough fabric to make the facing. This dress pattern has one of those half linings, so you replicate the entire top like to under the bust. I never do that. I really hate those things. So I would have used the facing though that just goes like around the edges. I didn't have even enough fabric for that, so I ended up just using a bias binding for this, which I think actually turns out pretty well. You can see in the pictures here, I don't know if I can find them. I really love the way this one came out. This fabric. I think I shortened this one 4 inches. Sometimes I go overboard. I'm worried that it's going to be too long, and I go overboard like I did with that first one. So I sort of toned it down a bit, and actually changed my mind. I think I shortened this one by 3 inches so that it would still have that length. And I love that it doesn't really have like a bubble shape, but does definitely sort of like canter in at the bottom, which is what I was sort of going for. So originally my idea was to make this dress out of a different fabric. I will show you right now. I originally wanted to use this fabric, which is just, again, it's just 100% cotton. This is a piece of vintage fabric. I got it at a house sale. I got it ages and ages ago. And I haven't cut into it because I'm treating it a little like preciously. I don't generally go for florals, or not too often anyways. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I go floral crazy, but it's not one of my go-tos. Anyways, I love this fabric, and I have been reluctant to cut into it because I know I can't replace it. I'd have to find something else. Anyways, but I'm pretty comfortable now making this again and making it in my good fabric. I wanted to make something like this with this fabric for a really long time. So I'm excited about that. I'm gonna give that a go. All right, so that is all the sewing I have for you this week. The other thing that people commented, I think 3 or 4 people commented on last week that I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video is skirts. I have no skirts in my everyday wardrobe. A couple of you wonder if I even wear skirts, if I don't like skirts, what's the story with skirts? I love skirts. But I decided that skirts would require an entire video all of their own. So next week, I will be talking about skirts. And until then, I wish you all happy sewing.